In a world filled with stories of ghosts and mysterious voices, many people wonder if there's a way to talk to those who have passed on. Some believe a small device called a spirit box can open a doorway to the afterlife. Tonight, we take a closer look at this strange gadget. Are we truly hearing voices from beyond, or is it all just random noise? Let us find out together. Spirits, ghosts, and the unknown have always captured human curiosity. For centuries, people have looked for tools to help them reach beyond the veil of death. Among these tools is something called a spirit box, which scans radio frequencies rapidly, picking up bits of sound along the way. Some researchers believe that spirits can use these sounds to form words. Others think it is simply chance. This documentary explores whether spirits can communicate through a spirit box, examining history, stories, and the debate that continues to intrigue many. The question of life after death has puzzled humans for as long as we can remember. Many religions and cultures believe that the spirit lives on, even when the physical body dies. Because of these beliefs, people have tried to find ways to speak with those who have passed away. Some methods include talking boards, seances, and special electronic devices. The spirit box is one of the newer devices that promise to make spirit communication more direct. Some people set up spirit boxes in old homes, abandoned hospitals, or even quiet bedrooms. They turn it on and wait for the machine to produce voices. A spirit box sounds like fast-moving static, kind of like turning a radio dial quickly. Every so often, fragments of words drift through. The big question is, do these words truly come from spirits, or are they just random bits of radio programs? Long before the spirit box was invented, people used many tools to try to speak with the dead. In the 19th century, there was a wave of interest in spiritualism. Mediums claimed they could hear messages from people who had passed. Families would gather around tables asking questions to loved ones who were gone. Sometimes, knocks and raps on the table answered their questions. Other times, people used special boards with letters and numbers, moving a small pointer to spell out messages. While some believed these messages were real, critics said the mediums might be playing tricks. As technology grew, people began to look for more scientific methods. They tried taking photographs of ghosts and making tape recordings. One famous researcher was Friedrich Jurgensen, who in the 1950s and 1960s recorded what he thought were spirit voices on tape. This started the practice of electronic voice phenomena, EVP research. The spirit box is seen by some as a modern step beyond EVP recordings. A spirit box is a small electronic device, often handheld. It has a speaker and a radio. However, instead of stopping on one station, it moves rapidly from one station to another. This is called sweep mode. Each time the spirit box lands on a station, it picks up a small bit of sound. Sometimes it might be a voice from a radio program or a song. Other times it could be static or a high-pitched hum. Believers say that spirits can use these bits of sound to form words. By selecting certain pieces of radio chatter, the spirit communicates. Others argue that because the box is scanning so many stations, it is normal to hear random words. They think people might be tricked into believing these words are messages from beyond. Researchers who use spirit boxes often follow a pattern. They choose a location known for possible spirit activity. This could be a historic site or a place where a tragic event happened. They turn on the spirit box and listen to the rapid swishing of static and radio clips. They ask questions out loud, such as, "Is anyone here?" or "Can you say your name?" They wait for a reply. Sometimes they hear something that sounds like a name or a short sentence. People who use spirit boxes often record their sessions. They play them back carefully, wearing headphones to see if they missed any faint words. If they hear a clear phrase or name, they might consider it proof of communication. If they only hear garbled sounds, they might keep trying or look for new locations. Many spirit box users share interesting accounts. For example, a woman once took her spirit box to an old family cemetery. She stood by her grandfather's grave and asked, "Grandpa, are you with me?" She later claimed she heard his nickname come through the static, Sonny. That was the name only her grandfather used for her. She felt sure it was a real message, and she left the cemetery in tears. For her, the spirit box gave her peace, making her believe her grandfather was still around somehow. Another person tried a spirit box in an abandoned hospital. They asked if anyone had worked there in the past. They heard a voice that seemed to say, "Nurse?" When they asked more questions, the box went silent. Even though only one word came through, the experience shook the person deeply. These stories spread on the internet, often in videos or online forums. They spark debate because some words are not very clear, and different people can hear different things. One listener might hear nurse, while another might hear verse. Still, these personal stories keep the spirit box legend alive. On the other side, many scientists and skeptics say that spirit boxes are not reliable. They point to the concept of pareidolia, which is when the brain sees or hears patterns that are not really there. A simple example is looking at a cloud and thinking it looks like a face. When listening to random noise, people can accidentally create words in their minds. This might explain why some people hear clear phrases, while others do not. Skeptics also mention confirmation bias. When someone wants to hear a certain name or phrase, they might only focus on the sounds that match what they expect. They might ignore all the random bursts that do not fit. In this way, the spirit box is just a machine that picks up fragments of radio chatter, while the human brain tries to build a meaningful message. Others note that many spirit box sessions happen at night in creepy or dark locations. Because of these settings, people are already on edge. Their senses might be heightened, and their minds may jump to scary conclusions when they hear any noise that sounds like a voice. Some investigators have tried to test spirit boxes in controlled ways. They ask the box questions that have a clear, factual answer, like, "What year is it?" or "What city are we in?" Often, the replies are random or unclear. However, there have been moments when a spirit box seemed to answer with the correct city or date. Scientists say this might be a coincidence, but believers see it as a sign of something more. The scientific community, for the most part, does not accept spirit box communication as proof of an afterlife. They ask for experiments that can be repeated many times with the same results. So far, no study has shown that spirit boxes can reliably produce correct information over and over. Because of this, the topic remains on the fringe of science. Though many scientists doubt the spirit box, many spiritual groups are open to its ideas. They say that the world is full of spirits. In their view, the spirit box is just one of many ways to connect with those spirits. Some believe that if a person uses a spirit box with pure intentions, the device can act like a telephone to the afterlife. Certain cultures have rituals that invite ancestors to speak. These traditions can involve prayer, music, and offerings. People who hold these beliefs might see the spirit box as a modern version of an ancient practice. They feel that if you call on the dead with respect, you might receive a real answer. Today, many ghost hunting shows use spirit boxes. Viewers watch as ghost hunters sit in dark halls, ask questions, and jump when they hear a voice through the machine. This has made the spirit box very popular in the media. Critics say that editing and special effects in these shows can exaggerate the results. Audiences see only the creepiest parts, not the long hours of static where nothing happens. Nevertheless, the popularity of such shows makes the spirit box more common among everyday people. Some buy inexpensive models online. Others build their own. Instructions for do-it-yourself spirit boxes can be found in videos or on websites. This widespread use means that more and more people are attempting their own experiments and sharing their stories on social media. One of the biggest debates is whether personal experiences can be trusted. Some argue that if a spirit box helps people feel comfort or a sense of connection, then it does not matter if the messages are scientifically proven or not. For these believers, the emotional impact is what counts. They might say, "I heard my father's voice and it felt real to me." On the other hand, skeptics think that these personal stories are not enough proof. They believe that strong emotions can cause someone to hear what they want to hear. They also worry that people may spend money on spirit boxes expecting guaranteed communication, only to be disappointed when they realize the results are unclear. There are a few main ideas about how spirit boxes might produce what sound like voices from beyond. Ghost communication. Spirits are real and use the radio fragments to speak to the living. Psychological patterns. The human brain is wired to find patterns, causing us to hear words in random noise. Random radio stations. The spirit box is simply picking up pieces of broadcasts, and any meaning is a coincidence. Hypersensitivity. People in a haunted setting may be so eager to find something spooky that they hear words where there are none. No one has a final answer to which explanation is correct. This is what makes the topic both fascinating and hard to prove. Even people who believe in spirit communication warn others to be careful. They say that trying to speak with the dead is serious and should be done respectfully. They also suggest that a person should be prepared for the emotional impact of hearing a voice that might remind them of someone they loved. Some worry about negative energy or harmful spirits. They say that if one truly believes in the spirit world, not all spirits are friendly. People who are skeptical advise others to keep their expectations realistic. They recommend understanding how radio signals work and being mindful of psychological tricks. That way, a person will not jump to conclusions or become frightened by normal static sounds. Many individuals continue to explore the spirit box, hoping for a breakthrough that might change our views on life and death. They gather recordings, watch for patterns, and share their findings with others. While some sessions seem convincing, others only produce random radio words. But the drive to find out what happens after we die is strong, and the spirit box stands as one more tool people use on that journey. Ghost research groups sometimes hold public events, letting newcomers experience the spirit box firsthand. At these gatherings, people can ask questions and listen for answers. These events can be exciting, but they can also lead to more confusion if everyone hears something different. In the end, the spirit box's success seems to rely on personal belief and interpretation. The question, can spirits communicate through a spirit box, does not have a simple yes or no answer. For believers, the spirit box is a door to another realm. They hold on to the hope that the voices they hear are real. For skeptics, it is a machine that plays random bits of sound, proving nothing beyond our own desire to believe in the impossible. Over time, new devices might appear, and new methods might emerge. People will likely keep searching for ways to connect with what lies beyond the grave. For now, the spirit box remains both a mystery and a curiosity. Whether it is truly a bridge to the afterlife or just a modern trick, it continues to spark wonder, excitement, and doubt in equal measure. As long as humans wonder about what happens when we die, the spirit box and similar devices will hold our attention. Is it a tool that grants us rare whispers from those who have passed on? Or is it simply another way we let our imaginations run wild? Each person must decide for themselves. Some will listen to the static and hear lost voices. Others will only hear random noise. Yet, the need to understand life after death remains one of our greatest quests. Whether these voices are real or not, the spirit box stands as a reminder of our desire to reach out beyond our world. For those who find comfort in a single whispered response, that comfort might be enough. For others who demand proof, the search goes on. Perhaps the real message is not in the static or the faint words, but in our own hearts, driving us to seek answers to questions that may never be resolved. Thank you for joining this exploration of the spirit box. From personal stories to scientific doubts, the debate goes on. Whether you feel convinced by the whispers or believe it is just random static, one thing is clear. Our curiosity about the unknown endures. If you ever find yourself in a quiet room, scanning through radio channels, you might pause to wonder, could something or someone be trying to speak?